Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth Moroska with Kudos Magazine, and today I am with a really special guest. I'm so excited she is here. This is Marsha Schmit, who is the breast cancer navigator at Hurley Medical Center. And one of the things that we know is caregivers. Often they leave themselves in the background, not taking care of themselves, and trying to figure out how to navigate caregiving can be incredibly difficult. So, Marsha is coming out here with a reminder for all of us on how we can do a little bit better attention to our self care in ways that maybe we can get involved to even support some different caregivers in our community. So, Marsha, thank you so much for coming today. It's so great to have you.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to have this opportunity to chat with
Yeah,
you.
you are an advocate of always sharing knowledge and connecting community to resources. And it's an absolute honor to have had a chance to meet you. For those of you that don't know Marsha, she was the first breast cancer navigator in Genesee County. And if you could tell us a little bit about that and maybe share some tips on how does this relate to caregivers? Because you're aware of a pretty big disconnect that's happening between personal wellness and something that caregivers are maybe missing.
Right. It's kind of interesting. I was invited or asked to apply for a position, which was the navigator role, and I really wasn't familiar with cancer at all. So it was a very foreign opportunity for me. But once I stepped into the role, I immediately became aware of what patients need, what was missing in their care as far as education and information and how people could care for themselves and get the care and resources they need to get through this breast cancer journey. Along that path, you quickly become aware of how family is involved and what they have to do to help the patient or loved one get through from A to Z in the breast cancer journey. So I work with not only people who are diagnosed, but loved ones who help support and care for their loved one.
And that's a key part too, is looking at the overall wellness of a patient, looking into some of the resources and support that they have. And with the program that you have with the Hurley Breast Cancer Navigator program, you guys are really focused on helping the patient and the family, the caregiver, the overall whole team that's going through that journey. And
Right.
often it's not just the patient, but the family that comes with them. So, with recent spikes, even in breast cancer, one thing that has kind of come up that I've noticed even in my own personal life as a caregiver is I stopped taking care of myself with some of the simple things like going to the dentist and taking care of my teeth. But you pointed out something that's even more detrimental, that caregivers are neglecting some annual health checks.
Sure. I think what's really become apparent amidst all the COVID and the shutdowns and the screenings is many people have put their care in general on the back burner. Then you add to the fact that there are many people. We're in a sandwich generation. So you have people that are in our age group that are not only caring for their children, they're caring for their aging parents, they're working full time, and all of a sudden their personal needs get set by the wayside. And so, in alignment with today's conversation, we wanted to talk a lot about how do we care for ourselves when we're juggling so many different balls. And sometimes it's a matter of just stopping and looking at, how do I prioritize the things that really matter, whether it's taking care of your mother and getting her to appointments, or your father, your children, making sure they're doing their part. Some of it's empowering our loved ones to do some of their own things and care for themselves, but it's also important for us to stop and look at when the last time we had a physical, when did we get a mammogram, have we gotten our screening exams. We've seen so many people, honestly, that have said, you know what, I was so busy caring for my sick mother that I didn't get my mammogram for, like 2, 3 years. And all of a sudden they have a huge mass in their breast. And had they just stopped at some point and attended to their own selves, they could have prevented, their cancer from being at such a late stage. And so we can never discount how important getting our dental cleanings, taking care of our teeth, our health. Anytime we catch something early, it's so much easier to treat. And we have to remember that we matter too. It's our loved ones matter, but we do too. And if we don't realize, if we don't take care of ourselves, we won't be here to take care of the other people that are important in our lives. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that sometimes with caregivers, there can become this overwhelming sense of guilt that if I leave and go do these things, who's going to care for my loved one? And the other day yesterday, we had somebody on from Valley Agency Area of Aging. I always get
yeah,
those A's mixed up, but
I,
VAAA. And
yeah,
one of the things that I didn't know about was until yesterday is they have resources that they can connect you with for having a little bit of a break. So maybe you can go get
right.
that mammogram or go get a haircut or go get your teeth cleaned without feeling like you're leaving somebody who's really sick at home by themselves.
Yeah.
But even like stepping a little bit further into some of the things that you offer through the program that Hurley has for breast cancer, one thing that I've heard over and over about people, even like patients that are returning back to work too soon, and you guys are doing some different things to help people sort of battle, to take on this fight through different resources that you can help connect them with. I know I've heard multiple stories about people that have to go back to work because maybe they don't have resources to pay for food or electricity and they're going back too soon. Tell us a little bit about what the Hurley Breast Cancer Navigator program is doing to help those families.
Well, I have partnered with our marketing department foundation and, of course, Financial Plus, who originally hosted the first Pink Night back in the day. And we now have what's called Pink Night Palooza. And we also have community partners who do some different fundraising. But collectively, we have raised funds that are housed in our foundation that we can access easily to help our patients that are struggling with financial challenges. Sometimes when you're young, you're in the middle or older, you're in the middle of treatment, you may not be able to work the same number of hours or work at all, or maybe you're on a fixed income and the financial challenges just hit you square in the head. And we do have resources to help get people through those difficult times. So if there are people that are looking for an opportunity to donate resources that go 100% to the patients that aren't used for administrative fees, our foundation fund, the Breast Cancer Navigation Fund, is one that's used to help our patients, even if it means getting some help like with an elderly care, alternative elderly care, hiring someone to come in a little bit to help the family so they can get a break, to help pay a rent payment or utilities if people are falling behind, because we don't want financial worries to consume people to the extent that they can't focus on caring for themselves.
That's
So,
that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And ultimately, you are kind of like the epiphany of the caregiver for the caregiver because you're providing resources for that caregiver to help a patient through healing, help a family through healing. And I think that this kind of comes down to even like community responsibility by participating in programs that you guys have set up. And ultimately, these programs are made possible through a lot of different avenues, including local businesses that are getting in and sponsoring. So, what I find amazing is how there can be this crossover between like commerce, helping community through healing. And you've really spearheaded a lot of that, of bringing, I think, awareness of ways your program can help other people and get involved. But coming up in October, you guys are going to be doing Pink Night Palooza
yeah.
2021. And this year you're doing it virtual, but you're also going to be doing a bunch of events throughout the summer. Is that right? Can you tell us a
Yes,
little bit about that?
we do. We partner with Pink Party, who is a group of women who organized a golf events at Warwick. They have helped us partner and they raise some funds that are then donated back to our program. They donate to all three hospitals so that we have extra resources to help our patients. So we do have events coming up through the summer. We work with Instalube, and we just have different businesses. Community Threads just recently joined us, and they're going to do some cool things. And we're still in the planning phases and getting connected with our local businesses who would like to participate. Collections in the past has done fashion shows and done special spending nights. And so we do have a number of people in our community that have had a passionate desire to help our local community members, and by sharing their resources through their businesses. So we will continue to advertise those and make those different events known as we become aware of them. But we have several people who are very committed to helping us.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And you mentioned Instalube and Collections. Both of those are businesses that are here in mid Michigan, and both of those are family run businesses that were impacted directly by breast cancer. One of the things that I find most inspiring is some of these stories can be very painful and also inspiring and motivating. But both of those families ended up coming back after that journey, and they sort of doubled down and said,
Yeah.
we're getting involved and we're not going to stop. And they started sponsoring and doing some incredible things. I think that one thing that hopefully we can learn as we go through some of these difficult struggles is after we make it through our storm to come back and to help other people, whether that's
Right.
through volunteering or donating or things of that nature. Um,
Spearheading an event, you know. I always
yeah,
tell people, make your mess your message. You know what? You can turn your heartache into a beautiful story if you simply take the things that were challenging for you and look at how you can transform that type of a situation for other people. And so sometimes by doing good after we have heartache, it can help, be the salve to our wounds and help us heal. So
absolutely. I love that. I've never heard that before, but I think I might be taking that coin phrase every once in a while.
well, you know what? Robin Roberts gets all the credit. She said, make your mess into your message. So I can't really claim that as my very own, but I love it. And I think many people have since given her credit, but use that, that, our story can be transformational to so many other people, and and we don't have to let it eat us alive. We can help others through the
Right.
challenges and events that we experience. So
It's fantastic. So, if you had a message to share with caregivers, whether their loved one is dealing with breast cancer or a heart condition or a long term health uh, issue that they have, if you had a message for them, what would it be?
I feel like if we don't take 1 minute for ourselves, if I don't take care of me, I can't really take care of thee. And so I love the idea that if I take 1 minute for myself, whether it be to meditate, to pray, to find healthy food, to schedule an appointment, if I take care of myself, I can be a better caretaker for the people that I love and care for. But if I neglect myself, then pretty soon I'm spent and used up, and I'm not really any good for anyone else. So it may sound selfish, but it really truly is not. You're a better you if you take care of yourself. So
Yeah, that's
that's my message.
absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And the reason why we keep going back to this whole topic on caregiving for the caregiver throughout the month of May and June is we realize that this is a reality. And often caregivers have such big hearts and they love, and that's beautiful. We want you to continue to love, but part of it all starts with you doing some self care. So, one of the things I want to encourage you to do, if you have not signed up for your free copy of Kudos Magazine, go sign up really quick. All you have to do is drop in your name and your email. We do not share your email with anyone. Go to kudosflint.com, and we're going to have a lot of incredible resources available for you in that magazine, including interviews like this one with Marsha Schmit. And real quick, too, if you are on Facebook, we have a private Facebook group called Caregiving for the Caregiver. And the reason why we have these resources is we realize it really can be hard to do simple things. It sounds so simple. Self-care. Well, sometimes it's hard if you're running on 2 hours sleep and there's just not enough of you. We want you to start to be proactive so that you can take care of yourself, so that you can take care of your loved ones. Now, Marsha, really quick, if somebody, let's say that somebody is in the area and they want to become a sponsor for Pink Night, they want to get involved. Maybe it's not even a sponsor for Pink Night. They want to get involved. They want to support you somehow. What's the best way for people to get connected?
You know what? They can call Patty at our foundation at 262-9667 or 262-9669. Let me double check. 262-9669. Patty Creighton in our foundation, and she can give you all the variety of ways that you can get involved. You may even want to just buy a party pack and attend our event, or you may want to host a table, or you sponsor. I mean, there's just so many different ways. We always need volunteers. So please feel free to reach out. We would love your help and support. And if someone just needs to talk to me, 262-7207, you can call Marsha Schmit. Maybe there's different ways I can help you find resources to help.
Oh, that's great. And just so you know, in case, because some of us have area codes from different areas,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
810. I'm up here and I still have a 313 number, but it's 810. And if, let's say that somebody was in another area and they're in a hospital, they're trying to find resources, who's the best person for them to ask to connect with? Is it like a social worker?
um, for resources. You know what? American Cancer Society, if it's cancer, American Heart Association, they have a lot of resources and they're creating and developing local banks of information. So reach out to some of those organizations because they host banks of like all the Hurley resources, the McLaren, the Genesis. They're compiling that information so that they can um, kind of get people where they need
That's
to be.
fantastic. Yeah,
So,
I love that. I love that. Well, Marcia, I know that you're super busy and she actually squeezed in here really quick. She has a patient she's going to go connect with. And I just can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming out here and sharing this message because it's a vital part for the overall wellness, not just of the caregiver, but the whole family. So make sure that all of you are going and getting your annual breast exams. Make sure that you're still setting up your dental appointments and make sure that you're still taking some time to take a little break for you. It's super important. So, Marcia, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate
thank
you. Keep doing
you.
your magic. You're making this community a little bit healthier and you're always
Oh,
sharing your
thank
goodness. So, yeah. I
thank you.
appreciate you so much. All right. In
Oh,
the meantime, all of you have an absolutely amazing day, and we'll see you next time.